We begin tonight with continuing coverage of Gordon Fox sentenced.
We first told you about this morning. The former House Speaker learning his punishment for the latest corruption scandal to rock Rhode Island politics.
Fox was highly apologetic as a judge sentenced him to serve 3 years in federal prison.
That's the same sentence agreed to by prosecutors when Fox pleaded guilty to multiple corruption charges, including accepting a massive bribe from a Providence restaurant.
Today marks the end to a dramatic 15-month saga that began to unfold in March of last year when state and federal agents raided Fox's State House office and home. Prosecutors say their investigation achieved 2 key goals.
One was to remove him from office. The second was to send him to jail. He's gone, and he's going away, and so we satisfied our objectives.
Eyewitness News reporters Susan Campbell, Madeline Wright, and Kelly Sullivan are standing by with in-depth coverage.
But first, let's go live to Target 12 investigator Tim White, who was our eyes and ears inside the courtroom today.
Mike Shannon inside the courtroom where cameras are not allowed. Gordon Fox's voice cracked with emotion. He repeatedly apologized, saying his finances got out of control and he became trapped by his own lifestyle. How you feeling? How you feeling today? Less than an hour before learning his sentence, former House Speaker Gordon Fox tells Target 12 he wasn't making any predictions on what the judge would decide.
At this point, my guess would be as good as yours. Okay. I have no idea what she's thinking and nor would it be appropriate for me to know that.
Are you nervous about it?
Oh, yeah, it's nervous. But, you know, it's a day brought on myself, unfortunately, so I'm here to deal with it.
In the end, U.S. District Court Judge Mary Lisi accepted a plea deal between Fox and prosecutors, 3 years in prison for bribery, wire fraud, and tax evasion. He also has to repay the $109,000 he looted from his campaign accounts.
It was like I went in there, took $100,000 out of the bank. It was bit by bit by bit by bit. You sit there, as a lot of people do, you see bills mounting, you figure, how do I pay for the bills? And I did something very stupid. I transferred money from a campaign account for personal expenses.
Fox also admitted to taking a $52,500 bribe from the owners of Shark Bar in Providence in 2008 to secure a liquor license when he was vice chair of the Providence Licensing Board.
It's the appropriate sentence under the circumstances of this case.
U.S. Attorney Peter Nerona says prosecutors used every bit of evidence against Gordon Fox.
If there was conduct that we could prove, in addition to what we did charge, we would have charged it. So I'm very confident with both the results of the investigation and with the results of what we set out to do.
Fox will have to report to a prison on or before 2 o'clock on July 7th. We don't know where that's going to be yet. The federal government's going to assign that soon, but I can tell you the judge did say she was going to recommend he be sent to a prison near Rhode Island. When he gets out, he will be on 2 years of supervised release. New at 6 o'clock, I asked Fox about that bribe and what he says to people who think that's not the only one. Mike, Shannon?
Now, Tim, you said Fox has to actually repay the $109,000 he stole from his campaign account. So where does that money go?
It actually goes back to his campaign account and someone else is going to manage it. His lawyer, for instance, is going to take that over. And by law, that money can go to a charity, it can go to another campaign, or it can even go back to the state. That will be decided later. But keep this in mind. He also has to pay back taxes on those ill-gotten gains. His lawyers say they are working with the IRS, and he'll have to pay that plus interest. Mike, Shannon?
All right, thank you, Tim. Tim White live in Providence. We'll check back in with you coming up on Eyewitness News at 6.
This news bringing you the breaking news just over 8 hours ago, live on WPRI 12. Now Gordon Fox waits to begin serving his sentence.
Eyewitness News has live, in-depth team coverage of this major news story for you at 6. We have a team of reporters in place. We go out first live to Target 12 investigator Tim White. He's in Providence with the latest on today's sentence.
Gordon Fox's voice cracked with emotion as he addressed the judge inside federal court where cameras are not allowed. He says when the FBI knocked on his door in March 2014 to search his home in those dramatic raids, they actually rescued him, saying his lifestyle had gotten out of control and he had no way of getting out.
We'll see what happens.
Former House Speaker Gordon Fox walks into federal court less than an hour before sentencing, unsure if the judge was going to accept a plea deal. Are you nervous about it?
Oh, yeah, It's nervous. But, you know, it's a day brought on myself, unfortunately. So I'm here to deal with it.
In the end, she did. 3 years in prison plus $109,000 in restitution for looting his campaign account. Fox also pleaded guilty to bribery for accepting $52,500 in exchange for a liquor license when he was on the Providence Board of Licenses in 2008. I got to tell you, a lot of people just, they don't believe that was the only bribe that was accepted. What do you say to them?
The government has looked at me and looked at me and looked at me, and I think the government would not be in the position of bringing this case to closure if that were not the case.
During the sentencing, U.S. District Court Judge Mary Lisi said it's very difficult to reconcile who the real Gordon Fox is. He's going to have to figure that out himself.
At this point on this sidewalk, I can't reconcile that, but I guess I'm going to have some time to think about that. And so maybe get back to me in 36 months.
U.S. Attorney Peter Nerona says he is satisfied with the 3-year sentence.
It captures all of his conduct in a single sentence. And as we know, he will serve most, if not all, of that sentence in a federal facility.
There's no excuse for that, and that's what I wanted to convey to the court today, and I hope to all of you that I'm conveying today. There's no excuse for this, for my behavior. I'm very, very sorry.
Fox will have to report to a federal prison on or before July 7th. Of course, we don't know where that's going to be yet, but the judge said she was going to ask the Bureau of Prisons to place him in a facility near Rhode Island. He will also have to pay back taxes to the IRS for all the ill-gotten gains that he spent. That's back taxes plus interest. Mike, Shannon?
Tim, you said Fox's voice cracked with emotion when he spoke in court. What did he have to say?
Mike, one thing we did learn was that his mother-in-law was actually visiting the day of the raids when the FBI and state police searched his home. He also told the judge he, quote, contributed to the cynicism of government, and he never wanted to do that. He said it was motivated by greed, keeping up with the Joneses. Those are his words. He said he had no excuses. He apologized to his husband. He apologized to his friends and to the people of Rhode Island. Mike, Shannon?
Target 12 investigator Tim White live in Providence for us tonight. Thank you, Tim.